This is Professor Madan Goel. I'm speaking from Pennsylvania in the United States. And my greetings to everybody in India and the conference participants. I'm going to be speaking on the need for a presidential system of government in India over and above the present parliamentary system of government in India. And I'll give you several different reasons why I think it will be better for India to adopt a newer system of government. And presently, as you know, India is a multi-party system. For any given election, many different political parties, sometimes as many as 8 or 10 different political parties, compete for a parliamentary seat. Under a presidential system of government, there is a single election for the President of the United States. And then members of the parliament are elected separately, different from the election of the president. Because the election for the president is a single election with competing candidates, the number of political parties competing for the election of the president will be reduced significantly, because many smaller parties will not be able to compete at the national level. And this, I think, will also increase the voter participation, which is rather low in India at the present time. Only on the average, about 60% of the population tends to vote. And also, I think it will increase the voting rate, the participation rate of the majority community. Presently, the Sikhs vote at about 80%, the Muslims vote at about 70%, and Hindus have the lowest voting rate in India. They vote at about 60% of the total population. So the majority community participation under a single presidential race is going to increase. And I think that has a lot of beneficial effects. Now, 2-3 of the other reasons that pertain to this discussion, the voting patterns in India are unfortunately inverted from the voting patterns in many other countries, like in England, the United States, Australia, and many countries in Latin America as well. When I say the voting rates are inverted, I mean the lower educated people living in the rural communities in India vote at a higher percentage than people who are more educated. Actually, the voting rate among the college educated is the lowest in India compared to the people who have lower education. And I think a higher voting rate among the better educated would produce a better candidates and a better system of government. Also, the timing, there will be election once every 5 years. There will not be too frequent elections, as is the case in India, because under a present parliamentary system, a government can fall down because a multi-party system. But under a presidential system, the president will, under the law, complete his or her term of office. Now, if we limit the term of office to 2 terms or 2 5-year terms or maybe even 3 5-year terms, then the president will be in office no longer than 10 to 15 years. I think that, that will be a very good feature to adopt. Now, this is in some ways going back to the ancient Vedic system, the historical Hindu system, where, Rajas used to rule, but the Rajas were not autocrats. They were advised by wise people, and the soldiers often came from the lower classes. So in some ways, a presidential system of government will be similar to the system that we adopted in India for centuries together, the Rajas and the Maharajas. And I think that will be another very major advantage to adopting a presidential system of government. Of course, a constitutional amendment will be needed to adopt a different system of government. But, we have adopted constitutional amendments before. For example, the voting age was lowered from 21 to 18 through a constitutional amendment. And so it's difficult to do a constitutional amendment, but it is not something that cannot be achieved. So these are a few of the reasons why I believe a presidential system of government for India will be much better than a present multi-party system where Hindus vote at the lowest level, where the minorities tend to have more influence than the majority community. Overall, I think it will be much better for India to adopt a presidential system on the model either of the United States or better on the model of the French government. In France also, they changed the system of government from a parliamentary to presidential system back in 1950 or 51. So these are a few of the comments in support of a presidential system of India. Any questions, I would be happy to respond to. Thank you.